Evening, everyone. Welcome to the Mac Report. I am Elder Armand. Uh, Prophetess Lakeisha is on leave for right now. She'll be back though. I want to welcome y'all to the show. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for joining me and supporting. We appreciate it. Um, man, God, it's just awesome. Just awesome, awesome, awesome. But tonight we're going to talking about you can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. So it's so many times that we try to run from priority, we try to run from different things that God has given us to do. He's shown us His grace and His mercy and everything that we've done, and He's always, 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 always protected us. He's always, always, always given us opportunity. He's always, always, always had our back. And what we always do is run from Him at any given time. We run from the our purpose. We run from our giftings. We run from our opportunities. We run from the work. And what He was showing me is that we can run, but we can't hide. And we have to put ourselves in position to win and understand that God don't play about us. And when you're serving Him and serving Him in 100% spirit and in truth, then what He does is He's going to protect you. And as I was teaching last night, He gives where there's vision, He gives provision. So we can't run from the things that we're supposed to do and we're called and chosen to do. And when it comes down to certain things, He'll give us something great to do and we'll achieve it. And then when something else comes along, we run from that because we're scared of the outcome because we don't know what the outcome is gonna be. But if He was there for us in the achievement we did, why wouldn't He be there for us now? Excuse me. One of the things I've learned in the season that I've been in is that God always provides. God always has an opportunity for an outlet. God always makes sure that His is taken care of. The King always takes care of the kingdom. That's what we need to remember, is that the King always takes care of the kingdom. And one of the main things that I looked at was the people that ran in fear because of a threat. Well, these folks that they ran from was promising they wasn't threats. One of the things that we talked about last night was when Elijah ran from Jezebel, and what was funny is he thought that he was running and hiding, and God still found him. Found him. We do the same thing. We run and try to hide, and God still finds us. He's omnipresent, and He sees everything. So we can't hide from Him. But what He showed Elijah in that time that he was running and he ran into the cave, He caused the earthquake. He caused the windstorm that tore the mountain up. He caused the earthquake that tore the earth up, and then He caused rain. So in those three different aspects that He caused, Elijah was never touched. But God's spirit wasn't in those things, but He allowed them to happen. And what happened there was Elijah still tried to hide because Elijah was scared. He was more scared of Jezebel than he was of God's power. And to me, God showed a power move. Look, all this stuff going on around you, what happened to you? And that's one of the things that really stood out to me is that nothing happened to Elijah in any three of those instances. And when that happened, he never one time destroyed Elijah. He never did anything to where Elijah was hurt. He protected Elijah through the whole entire thing and all the time. He protected him. And what we have to realize is that His protection is unwavering. His protection is not biased. It doesn't just happen for one person, it happens for all of us. And what he does is protect us so that his work can be done. And one of the things that I looked at, and I told one of my coworkers this, he gives his strongest battles to his strongest soldiers. And that's because he can trust us through those battles. Are they hard? Yes. Are they scary sometimes? Yes. But we're not supposed to live in the spirit of fear. One of the things that we have to understand is that fear and faith run together. And what I mean by that is that fear can grow just like, good evening, Ronetta. Uh, Fear can grow just like faith can grow. So you either have mustard seed fear, you have mustard seed faith. And your faith should outgrow your fear because fear is a weed. Fear is a weed. And it should be cut out at some point in your life when you really trust in God. Going back and looking at Elijah, when he ran from Jezebel, it was all because she said she was going to kill him. Now, prior to that, if you go back and you read, it showed where it tells you where Elijah um, killed the 450 prophets of Baal. He killed them by himself after he showed God's power. He had them take 3 huge buckets of water and pour them in the little trough area in the altar. And then he called down fire from heaven and it licked up water. Water normally extinguishes fire. The fire extinguished the water and burnt up all of that. And he sent the people to go get the prophets and lined them up, and he killed them by himself. But he ran from one person out of fear because of what she was doing before, was killing the other prophets. That's someone that wanted power. She wanted to be in control. And that's why you hear a lot of times pastors or um, believers speak of the Jezebel spirit because she wanted to be in control. Excuse me. So she wanted everything. And good evening. She wanted everything to be. Good evening, Keish. She wanted everything to be in under her control. So she did everything that she could to destroy what was there. And when he ran, like I said, he ran in hiding, and God chased him down with an angel. Hey man, you gotta get up and eat because you got more work to do. Came to him twice, and after that second time, he still made an excuse. I'm the only one left. She killed all the other ones. The other ones is gone. Now I'm the only one left. I was like, I don't care. And then he said it again, came with the same excuse again. But he still made him go do the work. And he'll do us the same way. And then while I was looking at this, I looked at Zacchaeus. He was a wealthy chief collector, was in a sycamore fig tree in Jericho when Jesus passed by. Because he was short and couldn't see over the crowd, he climbed the tree to get a glimpse of Jesus, who then called him down to stay at his house. He just wanted to see. So he took his short stature and he climbed a tree so he could see. We need to climb a tree so we can see Jesus too. And what we tend to do, we tend to run in the cave out of fear, or we run out into the cave because we don't want to be seen, or we're scared about what's going to happen. Zacchaeus wasn't scared. He wanted to see Jesus. He was on a mission. So he said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to go see Jesus. And we need to do the same thing. But what we do is tuck tail and run in fear because we worried about what he's going to say, how he's going to treat us, what he's going to say to us, or how he's going to say it to us, or if he's going to correct us on the things that we might have done wrong. He's honestly not worried about all of that. All he wants us to do is give him a try. And he wants us to try and just serve him the best way that we can. And when we serve him, it gets better and easier and better and easier. And again, it's just like faith. Faith is a mustard seed. Faith the size of a mustard seed causes something to grow real big. And what we need to do is live in faith and understand that God has our back. Jesus is on our side. The Holy Spirit is leading and guiding us. So what is there to be scared of? What is there to run away from? And why do we run? We don't need to run. So now I'm going to switch up a little bit and I'm going to go to David. David spent years on the run from King Saul, the first king of Israel, who was jealous of David's popularity and success. Due to Saul's attempts to kill him, David hid in various locations like the caves of Adullam. Somebody else who went and hid in the cave, the wilderness of Ziph, and even sought refuge among the Philistines, who he hated. But he was running out of fear. Now, this man destroyed Goliath. He killed a giant and took Goliath's sword and cut Goliath's head off. Yet, you had a man that was a king that threatened to kill you and you ran. And here's the funny thing. The king's son was was David's best friend. There it is right there, prophetess. The first step is having a desire to seek him. And Zacchaeus is the prime example of seeking God. He, by any means necessary, he was going to see Jesus. So he climbed that sycamore fig tree and went up in that tree so that he could see Jesus because he was short. And he figured, okay, I can't see him from here. So by any means necessary, I'm going to see him. We need to seek him in that same fashion, that same drive, that same passion, and understand that if we seek him, he will be found. That's why we have the acronym ASK. Ask, seek, knock. We ask first, then we seek after him, and then we knock on the door to be let in. But again, we allow fear to overshadow the part of seeking him because we're worried about our past. We're worried about who's going to say something about us. We're worried about are we going to be forgiven? We're worried about everything else but what the focus should be on, and that should be on Jesus. Building a relationship with Jesus, allowing the Holy Spirit to infill us on a daily basis and lead us and guide us through this life, through this thing we call life. One of the things I learned from reading about these warriors that ran from one person out of fear was that when it was time to step up, they didn't have fear. Elijah made fun of those prophets. He laughed in their face. He scorned them and joked. He talked about them bad. And then he did his work. He did the work of the Lord. Called down fire from heaven. But yet, Jezebel said, I'm going to kill you based off what, basically, and I'm just paraphrasing, based off what he did to the prophets, to her prophets, I'm going to kill you. And he ran from somebody who really didn't have any power. But the crazy thing, he was a prophet of God. So he knew God on a personal basis. God talked to him and through him. But you ran to hide because your life was threatened. Excuse me. Sorry about that, y'all. Oftentimes we do the exact same thing. We run from something that's so minor. And God always tells us he's protecting us. He said he'll never leave us nor forsake us. And if we go back into the book of Psalms, in the 23rd Psalm specifically, it tells us he's preparing a table for us in the presence of our enemies. In other words, he's going to make our enemies sit there and watch us eat. And we need to let him cook. Let him whip up that meal and we sit down and we sit at the table and feast and not worry. If we're believers, we're true believers, we shouldn't worry. We shouldn't fear. We shouldn't fret. We shouldn't run from things, we should face them head on because the King is going to protect us. God is going to take care of us. He puts a hedge of protection around us. He put a hedge of protection around Job. Did he say everything was going to be easy? No. Did he say that we weren't going to have things that we go through? No, he did not. He never said it. But here's the thing we have to understand too is that there's no testimony without a test. And our words and our testimony helps other people. Even when it comes down to really looking at fear versus faith, we can grow fear just like we can grow faith. And if we allow fear to grow up, it'll smother our faith when it should be the other way around. That our faith should be smothering our fear because faith brings power. Faith brings connection. Faith brings belief. Because just like I'm sitting on my couch right now, and the floor is up under the couch, my faith is that this couch is going to hold up and hold me up. My faith is that this floor is not going to open up and swallow me and my couch up. We need to have that same type of faith in God, and I do have that same type of faith in God. At one point, I know my faith wavered, and He showed me just who He is by blessing me, by keeping me, by healing me, by taking care of my family, by just supplying my needs. It's all there. It's all for us. It's all for opportunity. It's all for us to grow. And one of the things that we really need to focus on is having tunnel vision on Jesus and asking for the infilling of the Holy Spirit on a daily basis. It's a daily thing, y'all. It's not one of them things that it happens and then you don't never got to ask for it again because we're human. And while we're supposed to live spiritually and walk in the spirit, we live carnally too. So some of us will put our faith on the shelf and go out here in the world and do whatever, and then come back and try to pick our faith up. That's not how that works. That is not how that works. God does not play when it comes to you being disobedient. He will give you a whooping. God does not play when He tell you to do something and you run from it. Run from it. Whether it's out of fear or sheer out, I don't want to fool with them people because I don't like them. Look at what happened to Jonah. Jonah got put in a great fish, which, if you think about it, I believe it was a whale. Got put in a great fish because he was hard-headed. Little simple thing to do. Go and tell the people, get this message to the people in Nineveh. Hard-headed. I don't like them. They ain't even worthy of your words. I'm not going over there. He went over there. And we shouldn't have to go through things and go through troubles in order for God we shouldn't have to go through things and go through troubles and make God push us or make God force us to do something. And that is absolutely correct. You're going to do it one way or another. And that, you don't want Him to put you in position of one way or another. Just do it. And don't be fearful about it. Don't worry about what the people going to say. Don't worry about how the people going to treat you. Because at the end of the day, it don't matter how they feel about you. It only matters about how God feels about you. And if He chose you for it and He told you to do it, He's going to make sure they have an open heart and a listening ear so that you can deliver the message. And that's what He was telling Jonah. Go do it. They'll listen. Well, and he was doing it out of, he didn't like them. That was at that point in time, honestly, the way he described them was a form of racism. He didn't like them because of their skin color and who they are. It wasn't cool. Not cool at all. And he ended up getting in trouble for it. Yeah, it's already where there's vision, there's always provision. So if he gives you something to do, he's already prepared the way. And as Prophet has just said, if God sends you, then he's already equipped you. And what we have to understand is that he prepares you for everything that if he didn't think you could do it, he wouldn't have asked you to do it. If he wasn't going to equip you to do it, he wouldn't have told you to do it in the first place. If he wasn't going to prepare the audience for you to come, he wouldn't ask you to do it. Good evening, Mary. Good evening, Tanisha. If he didn't know, if he didn't feel you could do it, he would pick somebody else. Everybody he's called to do something, he knows that they can accomplish. We're the ones that put a delay on it. We're the ones that run in fear because it going to Moses. I'm not an eloquent speaker, so I can't do what you've asked me to do. And I was like, yes, you can, because I'm gonna be right there with you. I got you. I'll speak through you. Well, I got a speech impediment. So God don't care about what your speech is because he'll fix it so that you can deliver your words. He'll fix it so you can draw the people. And you might be in your private home. And I'm gonna just use this as an example because from if you study your word and study the history, Moses was a stutterer. He had a speech impediment. He stuttered. So what happened when God got tired of him making excuses, he brought Aaron in to speak. Moses still had to do the work. Moses was worried about what people were going to say about the way he talked. And it did not matter because if God is speaking through you, it's going to come through clear and people are going to understand. Exactly. Yep, Mary, exactly. Had Aaron come in, but I believe looking at that situation, I believe God used Aaron as a pillar of strength for Moses so Moses' confidence could be built up to be able to do what he needs to do because he did speak, except for the time he hit the rock because he was angry, hard headed. Talk to the rock. Just go speak to the rock. Water's going to flow out of it. And he got mad at the people and hit the rock and cursed himself. Basically got himself in trouble out of anger. That's another thing that we need to watch is anger because it causes you to do things that you wouldn't normally do. And we need to watch and control ourselves. That's called self-control. One of the fruits of the spirit. We need to live by it, self-control. Control how you speak, control how you react, because everything doesn't deserve a reaction. And if we push past the reaction and be proactive in catching what's thrown at us, we won't react in the same manner. Now, going back to Aaron and Moses for a minute, like I was saying, Aaron was that pillar for Moses to help him build his confidence up. Because after Moses started speaking, he was speaking clear. The people understood. God understood who Moses was. He knew who he was before he even chose him to go do the work. So again, where there's vision, there's always provision. He's going to equip you with everything that you need to go out there and do the work. He's the ultimate employer. You got your benefits, you got your 401k, you got your health insurance, you got your vacation time, you got your time, your overtime. You got leadership. Just go to work every day. That's all you got to do. Go to work every day. He takes care of you. Whatever he's called and told you to do, and he's told you to do it, make it happen. Stop running from it. There's nothing to be scared of. And this comes from a person that walked in fear for years. And I still Have not. And I don't believe it's going to be ever. I'm gonna ever understand it. But I still haven't figured out why. And really, honestly, at this point, I don't care why. But I be okay. Thank you, Holy Spirit. That was a trick of the enemy trying to keep me from getting to where I'm at now. Because I didn't want. I didn't want. I was in music for years, and I did stuff because it was out of necessity. But when I was alone, I was scared. If I was around people, I was fine. But when I was alone, I was scared. Didn't want to do anything alone, things like that. And it just turned off one day. And I believe that's when the Lord really snatched me up and said, okay, time to come out of that. I got you. So now where I may have where it tries to creep up, I know how to pray it off. But I will not walk in it. I will not let it debilitate me. I will not let it take my freedom away from me, because as long as I'm free in Jesus, I can be free in his world and protected. So I don't have anything to worry about. Um, and then I was looking at a few other people going back to the 12 tribes of Israel. God gave specific instructions. Send 12 of your leaders out to go and spy. When they come back with their report, you'll know what to do. 10 of them came back with a bad report. 2 of them came back and was like, hey, let's make it happen. Let's rock. Let's go. The other 10, they got they got grapes the size of our heads. Caleb and Joshua was like, so? It is what it is. Let's do it. God said we can do it. Let's make it happen. But because sometimes what happens is the majority will walk in fear, which overpowers the minority. But what happens is the minority, when they're trusting God and they're following God and they really got God, they become the majority because they got God. Yes, you're absolutely right, Mary. Before you came on, I talked about that same thing. Jonah, hard headed, mad because he didn't like somebody and then wasn't gonna go talk and ended up causing a problem, a storm for no reason, got thrown over and got swallowed by a great fish. Had to spend some time in that fish before he finally said, okay, Lord, I'll do it. And then when he went and did it, the people listened to him. That's another thing that we do that causes us to delay what God has for us. And that is when he tells us to do something, we drag our feet or we don't do it when he tells us to do it. Now he got to make us do it. And one of the things he don't want to do is force us to do anything or make us do anything. He'd rather us just say yes or no and keep it moving than to, okay, I'm going to do it, and then we delay it. And he needs something done. So here's the thing about God. When he tells you to do something, he gives you a time frame to get it done in. Because he's trying to he's working to deliver a message. And that message could be him raising you up, him showing you that because of your faith, I'm going to bless you. Him showing you because of your trust in me, I'm going to bless you. Or him showing somebody else that may be trying to get to where you are, how to get to where you are. Trust him. Put your faith in him. Do the work that he gives you to do. But if we delay it, it could delay the next person. We have to be careful of that because we can be held accountable for those that we are delayed, especially that we're delaying, especially if God has them up under you. What I mean by that is if he has you leading them out and you are not doing what he says do by elevating them or pushing them to the next level, if you're not doing that, you can get in trouble for that. You will get in trouble for that. Especially if it's somebody that don't know. But we have to be careful about those things and just make it happen. Don't delay it out of fear, because a lot of times what we do is walk in the fear of the unknown. And I experienced this when we moved up here, because I I was new here, didn't know what the outcome was going to be, what to expect. I just knew I had to trust the process. And when I stopped trusting the process, seemed like everything went downhill. But as soon as I got back to trusting the process, things started moving smoothly and start maneuvering. And even with being down last year, um, the Lord showed me something in that too. Again, going back to Elijah, while he may not be in it, he's showing you he's protecting you through it, because he's keeping you through it. If you go through a health issue and the Lord allows you to come out on the other end free, still got the activity of your limbs, breathing, go to work for him. If he sits you down and tell you, okay, you want to take a break, I'm gonna give you a break. We may not want the break the way he gives it to us, but he gives it to us the way he needs to give it to us, so we can listen to him. Because if we crowd him out with our day-to-day lives, and we don't listen, or we don't do it the way he wants us to do it, what it'll do is it'll cause us to fall back and be delayed in getting to what we want, or what we need, not what we want, or what he has in store for us. Because a lot of times our blessings be right there in front of us, and we miss it because of our delay, because of our lack of focus, because our not listening to him and what he told us to do. I need you to move this way. I need you to deliver the word this way. I need you to do this. I need you to do this way. I need you to do that way. And we get so focused on our work schedule or our work, and we get focused on the money. Oh, I got to make this amount of money. I need this. All the time he's supplying for us. But we worried and fearful about not having enough, and all the time he giving us an abundance anyway. Because one thing I've learned, less is more. More bring more problems, but less can be more. And what he does with that less, with the least, is causes an increase to where it makes us show, it'll show us how he works with us. Yep, that's right, prophetess. We get so consumed in everyday life and forget God, because he's no. Once we get to a certain level, once most people get to a certain level, and if you go back and you start looking at some of the people that have made it big, and they're multimillionaires, they got all this luxury and all this money and all this time, and they still feel empty at the end of the day. And what happens is they, again, they got consumed with what they had in their everyday life, and they put God on the shelf. And some of them will tell you, I was serving God, I was going to church, and I was doing this, and I got this and I got that. And then the light bulb go off. I'm missing God. I've heard people say it. I got all the money, I got all of this, I got all of that, but I still feel empty. God is not there. You put him on the shelf in the back burner so that you can go out here and do your thing. It's not how it works. We can't get so consumed in our everyday life and then forget God, because he's the head of our lives. He's the reason why we're breathing. He's the reason why we're living. He's the reason why we have the things that we have, the opportunities that we have, the jobs we have, the vehicles we drive, the air we breathe, the food we eat, the clothes we wear. He's the reason, not us. And when we put him on the back burner, it causes issues in our lives. It causes delay in our life. It causes for things to not go the way we think they should go. All the while he's saying, trust me. All the while he's saying, don't fear, I got your back. All the while he just want us to step out on faith and try mustard seed faith. We can talk about Peter and walking on the water. He asked Jesus, if that's you, bid me to come to you. In other words, if that's you, can I come out there to you? I see you, but I want to come to you. Jesus had out his hand and said, come on. He got out the boat and started walking. And then he looked down and saw the waves hitting his ankles. The wind was blowing, the storm was blowing. And then he started sinking. How many times in our lives has the Lord said, okay, trust me in this? Oops, sorry, y'all. The Lord said, trust me in this and walk on water, be a water walker. And then the slightest little thing come and we get fearful. Or then another thing come and we get fearful again. All while we're walking on water. And then as the fear set in, again, here we go, the contrast. Must receive fear, must receive faith. The fear comes in and we allow the fear to outgrow our faith, and now we're sinking. Again, like I said in the beginning, we can run from it, but we can't hide from it. Peter couldn't hide from it. You asked for something, I allowed you to do it. Now you're allowing the little smallest things, minute things to distract you. Because think about this, how much faith he would allow his counterparts that were still on the boat to have, because they were panicking because the storm was tearing their boat up, flip-flopping it, causing water to come on the boat, waves going over the side of the boat into the boat, and they were scared. And here comes Jesus walking across the water. I think if that happened in modern times right now, if the Lord did that, I think people would either jump off their ship and run, or they would go hide somewhere because they were thinking they're seeing things out of fear. Again, you can run, but you can't hide. I don't care if you go hide in the closet, he gonna see you. You can go hide up under your car, he gonna see you. You can go hide in the deepest of the deepest forest. I can't talk today. Forest, and he's going to see you. We can't do the we can't serve God and be fearful. We have to become warriors for Christ and be fearless, because things are going to come our way and try to attack us, to throw us off, knock us off our square, one, and then two, to keep us distracted from getting to the next level. And that's all fear is a distraction. Because if you fear will make you go and hide and not want to come out because you're scared you're going to be attacked. You're scared you're going to be talked about. You're scared something's going to happen to you. And we can't hide. We can't run into hiding based off of what somebody said. We can't run into hiding based off of what somebody did. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry about that. But if you look at some of those guys and their strength that they had, I believe they allowed the weakness to come in at a time that they should have had strength. The time they should have been fearful, they weren't. The times that they shouldn't be fearful, they are. That's backwards. But that's how the enemy will trick you. Yep, he said that very thing later on after he ran from Saul. When he ran from Saul, he was hiding everywhere out of fear. But when he was trying to when he thought he was going to get away from God, he told him, I can't run and hide from you. You going to see me. If I put my feet out, you going to see me. If I put my feet under, you're going to see my head. If I put my head under, you're going to see my feet. where there's nowhere to hide. We just need to walk in faith and do the work and enjoy doing the work when we're doing the work. Make it fun. Enjoy yourself. He didn't say it had to be all, you know, overly assertive and overly direct and no, he said he wants us to enjoy what he gives us to do. And one of the things that I believe, it going back to Elijah for a minute, one of the things I believe happened when he did it, he had fun with what he was doing because he knew who God was. He knew who God was at the time, that he needed to have him in place with him, and he knew what he was going to do. He already knew what the outcome was going to be. And he told them, go get them, tell them to call their guys. Those guys were cutting themselves up, beating themselves against the altar, doing all kinds of strange stuff to try to call down Baal, and it did not work. Yes, ma'am, Mary. Double, toilet trouble. Yup. Get yourself in trouble for doing double toil. Good evening, Mother Delaney. Yes. And the reason why I laughed because I was just thinking about how, again, going back to Elijah, how he did all of that. He talked about them guys. I mean, talked about them like dogs. And God showed up on the scene, called down the fire. Lord, he went into prayer. Show yourself. Show them who you are. They have all these guys out here supposed to be prophets, and they got this altar here. Show them who you are. God did it. Why wouldn't he do it again? Whew. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to stop yawning. Because as soon as I get off here, I won't be sleeping. Ain't nothing but a trick of the enemy because the word needs to be put out there. And I will not succumb to it in the name of Jesus. But the funny thing is that you did what you did, and then one person allowed you to go and run and hide. David, you killed a Philistine giant and then mocked the Philistines. And then when you got older, you let the king, who you shouldn't have been scared of, who God ended up using you to replace, make you run in fear and try to hide. And all you had to do was trust God. We do that all the time. We try to run and hide, and all we have to do is trust God. We get scared because we don't want the next person or the person that has the greater title to look down on us. We don't want our family members to question who we are because we got to have this persona of I'm this, I'm that, and we not this or that. I know people who were living a lie for no reason. Be you, be who the Lord chose you to be. Don't try to put up in front of people and keep people away from people because while the truth is slow, it's gonna come out. It just takes time. A lie it builds itself up and it goes fast because one, you got to remember the lie. Two, you got to remember the first lie so that the second lie matches the first lie. Three, you got to remember the third lie so it can match the second lie, so both of them can match the first lie, and you got your story together. A waste of time. If we just do it the way God tells us to do it, when he tells us to do it, we won't run into no problems because he's going to make it smooth. That's why he told us his burden is easy and his yoke is light. Because he's not going to put too much on us than we can bear. And one thing that we have to understand is that he's going to be right there with us. Again, looking at Elijah, these are the key things that really stood out to me in chapter 19 of 1 Kings. is that those three things that God did. He allowed the earthquake, he allowed the windstorm, he allowed the rain, which means to me, he allowed it to rain so hard that it flooded. Let me read it for you. Give me a second. Okay, I got time. All right. So give me a second. Let me go back. All right. So um First Kings chapter 19, verse 11, he said, go forth and stand upon the mount, excuse me, before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great strong wind rent the mountains. In other words, tore the mountains up and break in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, fire. I said rain, fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. So he allowed three disasters to come. The wind, it tore the rocks up and tore the mountain up. An earthquake shook the earth, tore some more things up, and then fire came and destroyed some more stuff. But Elijah wasn't affected by any of it. Yet he was still scared and worried about somebody trying to kill him. Or well, she promised to kill him. She meant what she said. She said what she said and she meant it. And she was going to follow through with it. However, God showed himself his power by allowing those three disasters to happen and Elijah not be affected by anything. He was in the mountain when the wind tore the mountain up. He was at the mountain. He was on the mountain when the earthquake happened. Didn't affect him. When the fire came, didn't affect him. To me, that's telling me that God has a hedge of protection around us. He's going to protect us at all costs and all times. You have to have a really good memory if you're going to lie. Yes, ma'am. We don't forget when we tell the truth. No, ma'am, we do not. And then you have to remember what you tell to whom you lie. To whom when you lie. That's facts. Those are facts. And we have to be careful. Got to be careful. Again, God puts a hedge of protection around us to show us you don't have to be fearful. I got you. I'm right here with you. And the thing about it is looking at this last part of that, he came in a then he said the still small voice. And I believe that voice was saying, trust me, I got you. Do what I said, do. I got you. How many times have we heard that still small voice and we ignored it because we were scared? Go apply for that job. Well, I don't have the experience that they're asking for, or I don't have a degree. Yes, we are, Apostle. Or I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. God don't care what you don't know how to do, because He's gonna give it to you. Noah didn't know he was gonna build that big of a boat or a ship. That was a ship. He didn't even know where he was gonna get. He told him to build it because it was gonna rain, and he's looking like, rain. What's that? And then when he started telling the people that they need to get prepared because it's going to be a great flood, it's going to rain, they didn't listen to him. They didn't believe him because they didn't understand. And that's right. Self-doubt from the enemy. Exactly. Need to stop doubting ourselves and trust God and believe. Because while we're under his protection, we need to do the work. That's how Noah was able to do what he did in building that ship, the ark, because he was under God's protection. Even though they tried to belittle him and talk about him, and he was a drunkard and he did this and he did that, and his kids was like this, his kids was like that. That's why he was able to do the work of the Lord, because he was under God's divine protection. We are the same. Fear and doubt should not set in us on anything the Lord tells us to go do. Anything that we do, period, fear and doubt should not set in. because he's already made the way. He's paved the way. Again, where there's vision, there's always provision. So he's going to provide for us for the vision that he's given us. If your vision is to go out here and help, let him take you out here to help. If your vision is to go out here, if he gives you the vision to go and feed people, allow him to supply for you to go feed people. If he gives you a vision to start a business, allow him to supply for you to start the business. Write the vision, make it plain, so that the people can see. And what he meant by so that the people can see, so when the vision comes to fruition, you already got the plan right there because he's giving you the blueprint. But we get so fearful about what we don't have. And I said this last night in Bible study. We tell our we've gotten accustomed and so used to telling God how big our problems are versus telling our problems how big our God is. And if we can flip that thing to telling our problems how big our God is, our problems become small, and they become minute, and we won't worry about it. We won't walk in fear when it comes to things that we need to do. We'll step out on faith and make it happen. Again, Peter stepped out of the boat on faith. He had extreme faith. His faith was on fleek until the storms, the waves started hitting his ankles and the wind was blowing, and he could no longer, he took his focus off of Jesus. And then when he took his focus off of Jesus, he saw everything negative that was going on around him, or what he perceived as negative, and then he starts sinking. We do the same thing in our everyday life. The Lord would say, give us specific instructions. I need you to wear a blue shirt today with blue jeans, white tennis shoes. I need you to go outside to your car, start your car up, wait 5 minutes, then drive off. And I'm going to bless you for following those simple instructions. I'm going to be late to work. I can't wear that. I can't wear the blue shirt and the blue jeans because I don't have it, knowing you got it all the whole time. Or I can't wear that because it's not going to look right on me. Doubt. He said, put the blue shirt on, the blue jeans, and the white tennis shoes. Go out to the car, run your car for 5 minutes, then drive off. Simple instructions, and we don't follow them because we allow doubt and fear to set in. What are the people going to think about what I got on? What are the people going to think about how I look in this blue and in this blue shirt and this blue jeans with white tennis shoes on? I don't normally dress like that. That ain't what he asked you. He said, put on the blue shirt, blue jeans, and white tennis shoes. Go sit in your car, start it up, and sit there for 5 minutes, and then drive off. Easy. Told Peter, come on out. Come to me. He was telling Peter in so many words, without telling Peter directly, focus on me and just come to me. Don't worry about what's going on around you. Don't be fearful of the storm. You're not going to die because I'm here with you and I'm going to protect you. Because even when Peter starts sinking, who was there to catch him? Jesus. Put him right on up. And he'd do the same for us. We just have to trust him and trust the process. Trust the process. I told a customer that today they were having some issues going on with a claim that they had, and I had to tell them, just trust. I need you to trust the process. Everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to, one way or the other, but trust the process. And we have to trust the process. We cannot walk in fear, and we definitely can't run and hide. We can't do like Elijah did, run and hide. We can't run and try to hide like Daniel did. I mean, not Daniel, David did. Daniel wasn't no punk. He wasn't taken down for nobody. But he didn't run and hide. He laid in the lion's den like a true soldier. And the Lord sent that angel to shut that lion's mouth. No fear. No fear. We can't walk in fear. But we definitely can't run from the calling because it's going to chase us down. And he's going to make us do it. As Prophet has said earlier, going to make us do it one way or the other. And if we don't do it and we continue to refuse, or we continue to allow fear and doubt to lead us and guide us versus allowing the Lord to lead us and guide us through the Holy Spirit, he'll have somebody else do it. He'll make somebody else, he'll let somebody else do it just to show you this should have been you. And one thing I've seen him do, he will fire you and keep you employed at the same time, make you train up the person coming up behind you to take your place. We don't want that. We want to make it happen. Nope, rebellion is not a good idea, man. Have you all messed up and in a situation where you trying to find yourself? For me, rebellion leads to a reprobated mind because you think that you getting away with something by kicking away from it, and then now that you thought you got away from it, you feel like you ain't got to do nothing, and then you think you're doing everything right and it's wrong because you think you're getting away with something. It's backwards. It's like the lie. You got to tell the lie and then tell another lie to keep the first lie. And you got to tell another lie to keep the first and the second lie. And you got to tell another lie to keep the first, second, and third lie. Then you got to remember all four of the lies to make sure they match up with each other. And yes, he sees and knows all. God sees and knows all. So we can't run and hide. That's why he gave me tonight. You can run, but you can't hide. Elijah was unable to hide from God. He sent the angel. He will send the messenger to you real quick. Okay, it was literally just 8:50 and it's 9:29. Man, that time flew. All right, y'all. Remember, no, we cannot play hide and seek, Apostle. Not at all. Because he gonna find us every time. We can't hide from him. He gonna find us. Every time he gonna find us. This ain't the game we play hide and seek where we can hide and people wouldn't find us and we make it back to base. No, he's gonna find us every time, no matter where we go, no matter where we think we hide, in the cave, the wilderness, a tree, somebody else's house, somebody else's church. Nope, because if you go to another church and you're supposed to be doing the work at your church, he is going to call you out in that other church and send you back to where you came from. Be careful of that. But I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. Um, Keep Prophetess lifted in prayer. Um, Recovery is happening. Newness is happening. Abundance is happening. Blessings are flowing. But keep us in your prayers. If you are in the Norfolk area, in the 757, which is 7 cities, come and hang out with us at Zion Word Restoration Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. at 2100 Valentine Boulevard, Norfolk, Virginia. If you are in Kansas City, go hang out with Apostle Latanda, Apostle Charles McDonald at Full Armor of God Apostolic International Ministries at 8448 Flora, Kansas City, Missouri. Their service time is 10 a.m. Central Time. Our time here in Virginia is 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you're in the Chicago area, go and visit Chief Apostle Jennifer Davis at In God's Time International Outreach Ministries at 449 East 111th Street. Their service time, Chicago, Illinois, their service times is 12 p.m. every Sunday. Remember, you can run, but you can't hide. Do not let fear put you in a position where you're trying to run and hide from what God has called you to do. Y'all be blessed. Have a good evening. Love y'all.